Y'all weren't a bunch of mean girls, were you?
I wasn't. Some of them were.
She doesn't know how to be a mean girl.
Did you ask Dawn for her hand?
Of course.
How'd that go?
All of our mutual friends kept asking, when are you guys dating? Are you guys dating?
There was a buzz.
And I'm like, no. You know. He's
No?
little
Yeah,
punk
growing up
kid
together. Yeah.
image in my mind.
I'm sure you weren't even aware of me.
Nah, probably not.
Hey, that's kudos to me. I won you over.
We're raising adults. We're not raising people that aren't going to be out in the world. They're not going to be alone with all this stuff. They are.
We've actually encouraged our kids to go hang out with other parents, other adults, other families to get some perspective.
I don't know. Do children know what love is?
Yeah, they know love.
What is love?
What is love?
I'd like
Sounds
to go
like
traveling.
we don't like children.
No, you love them.
I
You don't
love
have
them.
to-
I am not. Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have to like children? I love my children, but I do not like them all the time. That's gonna involve numbers. You should ask
Yes,
Amos.
but when I am there, you don't refer to me.
No, because I know you're gonna. But
Not in public.
what just happened? What just happened?
I'm so glad you brought it up, Amos.
The unique situation.
Marital disputes.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you guys fight?
No.
No.
Never.
No.
Did we even go on a date before we got married? I think you took me
I can't think-
Subway one time. We went on a road trip to deliver a coffin one time, but
It was a casket.
I'm sorry, it was a casket.
Wait, what's the difference? Hold on. I got a question for you.
Yes.
How come we're not running out of space in cemeteries?
Did you spill that?
I did.
Well, at least it wasn't on your shirt.
Story of our life. You can pull that mic closer.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna talk.
I'm gonna make a t-shirt with just your face. Oh, I'm gonna pull that mic a little closer.
It happens.
Yeah.
Oh.
Were you a messy kid, Amos?
Probably.
Yeah?
You have to ask my mother.
Okay.
You can ask my wife.
Dun dun dun.
How's that for a clunky introduction?
I love it.
Who's running this show?
Well, I'll be your tour guide today if you'll keep it driving.
Wait, what? I have to drive. I have to drive.
Yeah, you can't
So you're
drive.
the navigator.
Right, but if we're giving a tour, right, I'm not going to be also driving. I'm looking around, I'm asking questions. Or rather,
Wait a
not
minute.
even asking questions. I'm
The
giving.
tour guide knows where we're going generally.
I mean, we'll get there.
I almost feel like Ben should be there.
He doesn't want it. I don't think he wants to be here. No. He doesn't like the seat.
Well, at least I can see your face. So I'm still talking to you, Ben. So
That's perfectly fine.
yeah,
How's it going?
it's going.
It's going.
Pretty much what I tell everybody. I'm here. It's after the battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, those kids love you guys. What about that?
Is it love?
As I say, do they?
What would you
Is that,
call it?
is that, I don't know. Do children know what love is?
Yes.
What is love?
Well, they can feel love. They can receive love. So surely, and I even the littlest of smallest kids, they'll come up to little babies. Oh, I love you, oh little baby, or little puppies. Yeah, they know love.
What is love?
What is love? I don't know.
Well, we're definitely still in the small kid phase, and so you kind of take it for granted because there's so many little things they need, and it can definitely not feel like love. It's
Well-
definitely not even appreciation.
Well, I don't know. Because
it's need.
It's attachment.
It's need.
It's need. As we define love in a biblical sense, whatever that means. It's like the agape, the phileo. What are all the loves? I don't know. My dad always my dad, who's been on before, doesn't like the whole agape, phileo, Aries, all that kind of stuff because it's not English.
Right. I would think he would not like
Yeah.
that.
So
Which really, because I grew up in a church where, yeah,
what's wrong with some nuance?
But I'm saying you read the verse and then the pastor dives deeper into, okay, Jesus is talking about this kind of love right here, and this is a different kind of love here. And I was like, oh, yeah, that adds a little depth, and I think it's a little nuance. But with regards to Howard Elseth and his explanation, Double E, double O, double I.
Or say, is there a U in there instead of an O? Then it tells you what kind of love it is. It's different.
I would say I appreciate when I'm talking to my kids, I'm like, well, this is the Latin root word, and this is what it means, and it helps understand the word better. So
Yeah, but you played Rummy Roots.
I did, yeah.
Rummy Roots. What's that?
Highly recommended Rummy Roots. It's a card game, and basically it's all of the Latin or Greek root words. And so you put them together, like graph. Graph is a part of so many words. Well, once you know what graph means, not that I can think of it right
Like
now.
photography.
Yeah, photography or ology, like it means the study of.
Right.
So if it's at the end of anything, it means the study of the thing that's previous to it. So
And you played this as a kid?
yeah, as a teenager,
Our parents were like very word heavy.
Yeah, my parents were very word heavy. Yeah. So my parents, very good. Just a lot of words, avid readers, crossword.
Don's the one who points out when I misspell miracle in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
And my brother is a natural. Like I feel like he could spell before he could read. For me, not as easy. Words have never been that easy.
So were most of the games that you guys played as kids have I don't want to say like an underlying tone of education, but like, was it?
Definitely not. Rummy Roots is probably the only one. No, it was only one. Other than that, it was like solitaire or poker.
Oh, really?
Poker.
Poker?
We had other
You guys were gambling?
We had a fellow homeschool family that taught me how to play poker about 16. We played a lot of poker that summer. Hearts was the big one we did.
Yeah.
We played at camp.
Poker.
So hearts,
Cards.
and then spades, of course, and poker. It's been a long time since I played poker. So I used to have a much better poker face. I'm not sure
I'm
I
not
do
sure
now.
about that. I'm not
I
sure
mean, would you play for keeps? I mean, what are we talking about? Bottle caps? What,
No, it was like, I think it
nickels
was
and dimes?
pennies or nickels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, it never took hold.
No.
You don't have that gambling
addiction.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, I for the first time I ever bought a couple Powerball tickets
Why?
Why not?
because it was like $1.3 billion. That's why.
Hey,
I know.
Amos.
I know.
Now, if
I'm like, hey, what's the worst that could happen?
see,
But what's
Lose
funny
$10.
but what's funny is being a homeschool family is it's sparked a lot of conversations with the kids because they're like, well, what's gambling? What's Powerball?
Yeah.
What's this? What's lottery?
Right.
And so then we discuss it and they're just like,
Understanding the difference between.
well, why would you do that?
right?
And then they're like, but the chances,
Yes.
and then they're like, but yes, but that's the danger. And so they're like
Also explaining to them
tempted, but not tempted at the same
how many people's lives have been ruined by winning the lottery.
I was just about to say, right now, the number one problem in America is sports betting, because of the start of sports, football in particular.
But that's not the winning, though. That's the problem. It's the losing,
Of
and
course.
the gambling.
But I mean, I'm saying with regards to the access to being able to bet just from your cell phone now.
Yeah, it's rampant.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah, I have no interest in participating in that. It's more like throwing $10 at a Powerball when you have like a 1 in 300 million chance of winning, and like, what's the worst that can happen? You lose $10.
yeah. And I think you're exactly right. If we grew up in a non-gambling, don't even like,
Same.
okay, right? But then as a 30-year-old, one Christmas, my mom's like, yeah, I went and got a couple scratchers. And I'm like, whoa, where is this coming from? Like, what are you talking about?
I think at that point it's just a fun gag gift.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, they have those ones that are like bad. They're all losers or something. Like they're like that you give out.
my mom gave a gag gift one of those one time to a friend, and it was one where you actually won.
Yeah, that's
And
messed up.
it is. And
Oh yeah,
on the
that's
back
the
it
gag.
says
That's the gag.
on the back it says payable by friends and family and whoever you can squeeze a penny out of, basically.
One time, Dad and I were on a road trip somewhere, and he went into the gas station and to pay for the gas. This is back when everything was like pumped before you pay.
Right.
And I was sitting in the car, and it was like 5 minutes went by, 10 minutes went by. I'm like, what is he doing in there? So I went into the gas station. I caught him at the, well, I wouldn't say caught him, but he was at the, the quarter machine where you drop the quarters in. It's got the slide pusher. Yeah. And he's just sitting there like dropping them in there. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, well, some fell out, so I kept playing.
That one is addicting.
Yes.
I will say in high school, we would ravage that thing. And of course it had the sensors on it if you bumped it just right. But we figured out you could like hit it diagonally and it wouldn't hit the sensors. Oh, game over.
Yeah.
Make the whole thing tough.
Oliver has not discovered those. Sorry, our eldest has not discovered those because I could see him like feeding those quarters in there like
he's just
so close.
He's
it's
just
so
all
close.
about them Pokemon.
Yeah, he is. What 11, 12, 13-year-old isn't at this point?
Well, I don't know. I was that age when they came out and I avoided it.
Yeah.
Did you do Pokemon?
Oh, we weren't allowed.
Okay. That makes sense too. We weren't either.
Yeah.
That's probably why I didn't do them.
Yeah, Grandma definitely frowns on them.
Anyway,
devil-looking things.
Pocket devils. That's what she called them. Pocket devils. And it's like, I don't know.
That heavy sigh.
I don't know.
All right.
That heavy sigh.
I will say, since we're in the no, stay here, Amos.
Stay here?
Don't. I know. I can see that glimmer in your eye. You want to go somewhere else. But I think there's definitely trauma bonding going on right here with regards to how we were raised. My mom would take it was like a Bernstein Bears book, but it was specifically about Halloween or whatever. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
And she took a black Sharpie and like went through it and like edited it, and it was just like, okay.
You reminded me of a mom I knew. It was like a natural history book, and she glued the one about dinosaurs shut.
Yeah.
And my parents, thankfully, were never like that. Like they weren't. We lived in a bad inner city. I mean, we could watch drug dealers. We could watch, knife fights, stuff like that. We were on the second story. Doesn't hurt to be kind of known as the crazy white people.
Right.
So we did not deter
What does
that.
that mean?
Where was I going with this? I don't know.
Crazy white people.
Crazy white people.
Bernstein Bears.
Bernstein Bears. My parents, rightly so, I think. That's one thing I've tried to keep from them is like they're raising adults. And they're like, you have to learn how to deal with this.
Yeah.
And we'd watch old Saturday Night Live and
Simpsons.
Simpsons. That was one of our favorite TV shows. I mean, I haven't watched it in years. I have no idea what they're like now.
Right.
But in the 90s, we watched all that kind of stuff. I will say it took me a long time to realize that all the movies we used to watch were TV edited because they were all on like the bunny ears TV shows.
I know.
And I'd go to rent them because I'm like, oh, The Edge, that was great. Conan the Barbarian, we'd watch that like almost every Saturday afternoon. The unedited versions, like, whoa, it's kind of shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of
Welcome to our
scenes in there.
Well, not to mention like the whole 90s PG was not 2000s PG.
Yeah, no.
Well,
no.
it's more actually the reality is it's more like the 70s PG was not the 90s PG.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because PG-13 didn't exist until 1985.
Well, I just distinctly remember like as our kids were growing up and we were finding these because we got a VCR and VHSs and bought all the old Disneys, right, the old classics, so they couldn't scratch them. They couldn't mess them up, just plug them in, and that was their entertainment, or whatever the case may be. And we came across a couple PG movies, and we were like, whoa, wait, what? I don't know about this.
Yeah.
I mean,
Some of those Disney movies are scary.
That's true.
I didn't grow up watching them, but I've watched a few of them with my kids, and I'm like, like Sleeping Beauty, like dang, that's a little,
you mean
traumatic.
traumatizing?
Yes, traumatizing.
Dark,
Dark.
they're perverting the children, corrupting the children.
No,
Which they might have been. It's Disney.
There's other things like that, but yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, but like Airplane, which is PG, had nudity in it.
we watched that. It's kids.
Yeah, I know. It's just like bam. It's like when everyone starts freaking out of the airplane, all of a sudden a naked woman jumps in front of the camera, and it's PG.
But that's the thing is, if you watch it with the TV edit,
yeah, they clip that part.
That's we grew up with all the TV edits because we were too poor to even go rent them from the.
But when you sit down and do rent, I'm like, oh, this is a good movie, and you watch it with the kids, and it's like, whoa, where'd that come from?
Mm-hmm. That's how I feel now, because that's not how it was in my memory,
Yeah.
my childhood memory.
Have you guys heard of this app called VidAngel? Not a sponsor.
I have.
Have you ever tried it?
No.
I've always been curious. I mean, it's not cheap, but at the same time, it's not horribly expensive. But it's kind of one of those like
I had friends who had it probably when it came out 20 years ago, and they said it was hilarious because it would replace ass with donkey, and things like that. So I think they've come a long way in 20 years.
I'm sure they have.
But
and our kids are to the age where they're already 13. They're already so I'd imagine with parents with younger kids, if this is actually worth it. Mm-hmm. Is that movie that you just have to let your kids see that's rated R, that you just absolutely loved growing up? Do you really want to pay a subscription every month or a show or whatever to have it edited down to where your kids can, I don't know.
Like, should they watch it, period? Or...
Well, I've heard of examples like Game of Thrones. Like, you can get it through VidAngel and like...
I don't think your kids need to be watching.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So there's...
On the other side, the devil's advocate, whatever you want to call it, side of the coin, it's like, when is too young to expose them, and like, what does it matter if they're going to get exposed to it later anyway? I don't know if they I mean, all of our kids have heard most of the profanity. They've all heard it somewhere or another. They know what it is.
Well, let's get a mother's take. What do you think? How young is too young? I mean, really. In this day and age,
at 6, they forget half of it.
Yeah.
But it's also just what they're able to handle. Like, they would just not be able to handle.
Well, there's
why, because I would be getting the questions. Well, why are they doing that? Why would they kill that person like that? Why would they enjoy it? Why would, there's a lot of things they just wouldn't understand. Where my 11-year-old would just be like, it's part of the story.
But the thing is, like, what concepts are you exposing them to is more important to me than what like language necessarily.
Yeah.
This is where like the violence is more impactful than bad words. And like, but when we were growing up, like, violence was just fine. I watched Braveheart when I was 8. I watched The Patriot when I was 12. My mom couldn't wait to watch The Patriot when it came out on pay-per-view. Like, y'all got to watch this. This is the best Revolutionary War movie ever made. See some guy's head get taken off by a cannonball, and then Mel Gibson hacking some guy to death with a hatchet in the woods. Tomahawk, sorry.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but I think modern parents probably rely too much on the rating system versus the actual content, and just
sure. Well, because then you have to spend time screening it.
Yeah.
Like, we knew people too growing up where like they were not allowed to watch a PG-13 movie until they were 13 years old. That was a little baffling because we were allowed to watch, obviously, as I said. It's like, well, our parents avoided nudity and sexual content and language. Mm-hmm. Other than that, they were like not worried about it.
Same. And that's why I miss the TV edits, because like,
I know.
Oh, that was just gone.
That's the thing, is then there's no TV edits like, on streaming anymore. You can't get that. Nobody offers that service.
Let's bring it back. Here's a call to action. If you're out there, you got the TV edits, let's bring it back.
I mean, that was one of our ideas with Americanic.
Yeah.
Was to have that option, but
call to action.
But I suppose with VidAngel, that's probably the closest you're going to get.
Probably.
But I think with them, it's probably going to be really tempting to screen all of that out, because you can go through there and click, how censored you want it to be.
Yeah.
But in my experience, I've known a lot of very either backwoods, very sheltered, very homeschooled, very like the full gambit. Mm-hmm. And the more sheltered kids were raised to be, the more wild they were as adults. Like, hands down. And
basically, the more they rebelled.
They went on Rumspringa and never came back.
Yeah. Like, one thing I've always said is, like, the more you try to hold on to your kids when they're young, the less of them you will have when they're old.
And my feeling is like, look, we're raising adults.
Yeah.
We're not raising people that aren't going to be out in the world. They're not going to be alone with all this stuff. They are. And so with our kids, like, look, this is a bad word. This is and I guess, like, we treat it like a sharp knife. And this is what we tell them. Like, this is a sharp knife.
Right.
And until you know how to use a sharp knife without supervision.
Supervalence.
Yeah, supervision.
That's an interesting word.
Yeah.
Let's make that a thing.
There you go. You're not allowed to use this word. Until you know what it means, the right time to use it, like, not allowed. And so they're kind of vigilant about each other. And the youngest ones, 6, 8-year-old, they're definitely like, they'll say it because they don't know what it means. And they just to gauge your reaction. And my best advice is just be like, don't react. Just say, hey, don't say that again. That's a bad word. And you're not allowed to use that. But don't react. Because kids are terrible. They're just going to do it for your reaction. Like they really are. So it's just a word.
Yeah. It sounds like to me, which I think we're definitely aligned on with regards to raising young adults. At what age would you think that, you mentioned handling a sharp knife, like working with power tools, things like that, working out in the yard, in the garden. Is it a slow progress?
That's a really hard question because I think every kid's different. Every kid's different.
Yeah, your middle ones.
I guess to ask a different question, like it's really not the things that we aren't, like the things we're sheltering them from,
right?
Rather than the things we're not exposing them to, like hardship, hard work, failure, like the actual things that cause you to grow as a person. It seems like in our society, we have largely tried to avoid children being exposed to those until they're 18 years old. That's more concerning to me.
Well, the closest example I have came to mind was Terrell's sermon a couple weeks ago about teaching. I don't know if you heard that one about teaching his oldest how to drill in.
Use a sawzall.
Oh, well, that wasn't even a sawzall. That wasn't the example.
It was a reciprocating saw.
Right, but he was building a fence first.
Oh, yeah.
And he would screw it in halfway and then hand him the screw gun to finish the job. Okay. And deliberately going out of his way to teach him, how to handle a power tool.
And I'm sorry, but that's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
That is a royal.
Yeah, but that's the problem, is raising kids is a pain in the butt.
Yeah, it is.
And I think we both have the bad habit of, like, if it's a pain in the butt, we'll just do it ourselves. And the child doesn't get the experience and the growth.
I don't know. Like, so I was the weird kid that, like, my brother and I, like, that excited us so much to, like, get out there and work with people and do things.
But at what age?
But, yeah, that's probably 16.
Yeah.
14, 16. But we were cooped up in a tiny apartment, and it was the only way to get out and do things. Like, we were not doing any sports. We weren't doing any extracurricular activities because they cost money. We could ride our bikes. That was free. We go to the library. That was free. And we could work for people because that got us money. And so working for people was exciting. And I loved working with plants. I got my first taste about then.
Yeah.
And learning how to do power tools. So probably about 14, 16, we started doing odd jobs for people and learning how to use power tools. And we had a couple people that, man, I'd love to ask them now, like, what was it like to try and teach us? But they took a lot of patience. And I remember crying particularly one time because I screwed something up. Something, we trimmed out a window for a friend of ours or something like that. We were redoing a barn. And, like, he made me feel half an inch tall. And looking back now, that was his specialty. But, like, I felt so incredibly terrible that I'd messed up whatever it was. Who knows? But this was a guy, like, you had to pre-drill every single hole. And if it wasn't straight and square with the piece of wood, he'd make you re-drill it again. And everything was nailed together with 16 penny nails. Like, the thickest, heavy, like, this thing wasn't going to move in an earthquake. But looking at my kids now, like, I don't see that.
Yeah.
But they're all younger. They're all less, all under 12. But again, I think Garth said this one time where, like, his kids are not raised with the same, trauma, I guess, for the new word now. There's the same trauma that he was raised that shaped him. and he's gone the other way. So like I think he was referring to it about how,
I don't think he said the word trauma.
no, he didn't use the word trauma, but he was
Difficulties,
raised to be hyper vigilant, hyper aware. And he's kind of discovered that his boys are like almost hyper unaware. Like, and it made sense to me. Like and it's a good thing in a way, where it just means he's not creating a situation where they have to step in the room and go, okay, what kind of mood is dad in? What kind of mood is mom in? Like, okay, they can be oblivious. And I don't know. I feel like we've swung the other way ourselves. Like we both grew up where, we grew up a certain way and we've created a different environment for our kids.
Right.
So it's hard to.
Well, and the world is completely different.
And the world is, yes, we didn't have screens growing up. But I'm just saying, it's hard to identify with our children and say, oh, they're going to do this at this age and this at this age, like I did, because they're being raised by completely different environment, by different parents. And so they're going to be different kids. And so I don't know.
So one benefit, so I hear you. And I think probably every modern parent probably falls into that. One thing that we have recognized living in NAC is the importance of building a community, as well as the old, I hate to be cliche, but a village raises kids kind of mentality. And so we've actually I wouldn't say pushed, but encouraged our kids to go hang out with other parents, other adults, other families, to get some perspective. And I've also brought on a couple youth kids, boys in particular, out to my house and had them working. I definitely think your oldest just started youth.
Yeah.
Probably gearing up
last night.
probably gearing up to pretty soon add him onto the to the train and get him, and it's not out of any sort of I gotta get these kids working, they're a bunch of lazy bums just playing Switch at home and not doing anything on a Saturday. There's a little bit of that, yes, but there is another part of it is they love it. They actually love it, and they look forward to it. They'll come up to me on Sundays and be like, "Hey, can we go out next Saturday and work and chop wood and trim trees and burn stuff?"
Yeah,
yeah.
I have a pretty strong opinion about what you just talked about. So, multiple things. So when we were growing up, my brother and I, he's 18 months younger than myself, so it's just us two. We lived in the inner city of Cleveland, Ohio, bad neighborhood. And so our parents were good about finding us opportunities to get out of the house. So, one summer, I'm not even sure, I was even 16. We went and stayed with an elderly couple that we knew, and we re-roofed their house. By that, it was a house that had 4 different roof lines. We took the whole thing off and rebuilt the roof line. And they also had a sandwich business. So my brother would be on the roof in the morning, and I'd be doing the sandwich business at night, and we'd be doing the roof in the afternoon. And Bruce, God bless him, taught us a lot about woodworking, but he treated us like people.
Mm-hmm.
And parents, I'm sorry, but will always treat their kids like their kids.
Yeah.
And so that's why we always came back.
Always.
And
eventually they shouldn't, but yes.
But my brother and I were able to experience multiple experiences like that. We went training horses in Wyoming. We went homesteading without electricity in Arkansas for 2 months at a time, kind of stuff. Any summer, my parents were like, "Yep, go away." We get a call once every 2 weeks, kind of thing. But our parents trusted us. We were not looking for trouble.
You never felt like your parents were shelling you off, and
we were running as fast as we could to any new adventure.
Okay.
And
that's good. I'm glad you had that.
Oh yeah. No, they weren't trying to. Yeah, and we didn't want to be stuck in a little tiny apartment all summer.
That's true.
So, but it gave us, me particularly, I don't know about my brother anymore, but the view of other people's normals.
Yeah.
That I think is so important. You don't get that in the public school. You get that when you do missionary work. Mm-hmm. That's why people, when they come from missionary work, they come back with a different perspective. But honestly, just going and living with somebody for a month, just long enough to get the the varnish off,
The new off.
where it's like, okay, now you got to pick up after yourself. Now you got to fit in with the family routine. Now you are part of the family. Okay, now you have chores. Like when you get to that place and you figure out, oh, my parents aren't crazy. Oh, maybe my parents are better about this. Oh, maybe I like this habit more that this parent has. Or, oh, I like it at home better. You know, all those kind of things you learn, and then you go to somebody else's house and you do the same thing. You know, foreign exchange students, I think they probably experience that same kind of deal. I don't know any of them, but I would imagine so. And just experiencing other people's normals gives you a better perspective on your own parents' normal. And you don't get that attitude of like, it's just them. They're just saying that because it's just them, because I'm here and I can't wait to get out. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like that old adage when you leave a small town because you hate the small town, there's nothing to do. And then when you hit your 50s and you retire, or 70s, it's just like, I just want to go back to that small town because now you know what you missed. And so I feel like
very similar to Brad Mall's episode.
But especially with like young men and with, you know, older teenagers, if you're working with somebody else's kids, you will tend to treat them more like people or adults than their own parents, because they remember all the years, they remember all the things, and there's a dynamic set up between you and your child that is really hard to break, even if you want to, or even if you know it's there. Whereas between you, Ben, and some other random teenage boy, it's just like black and white. You're starting fresh, and he either meets your expectations or he doesn't, and he stays home.
To add some context to a recent event, which was very interesting, I got to give him some dating advice, which I was like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah, Hover's not going to do that yet.
Yeah, but it was just kind of like, you know, the two boys were talking about it, and clearly they were going the wrong direction. I was like, hey, listen. No, you don't need to call her. Just play it cool. Just play it cool.
That reminds me of a conversation Don had with a bunch of boys.
I think I was there for that.
Yeah, I think you were too.
I was there for that.
I think one of them, this was probably at a camp one time, and a bunch of boys were like, well, if I wanted to date your daughter, how would I go about it?
And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Don.
And Don's like, well, this is what you don't do, first off. But
Amos, did you ask Dawn for her hand?
Of course.
How'd that happen? How'd that go?
Well, we were driving back at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night from a job it was to help him do office furniture installation. And so I told him, hey, you know, I'm interested. And he said, that's nice. And then he went back to bed. And then we didn't talk about it for like 2 or 3 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he called me on the phone one day, and he's like, oh, you know, Jane and I, Kay's mom, we talked about, you know, and we're like, we're okay with you talking to her about it. Yeah.
Interesting.
yeah, so
unbeknownst to you.
Yeah, so we were friends. So he was friends.
She was included.
He was friends with my brother. They were best friends. And then my brother he moved to Tennessee, and we lived in Arkansas at the time. And but at that point, he was a really good family friend. So he just still kept. And then I kind of found out he had a brain, and we became really good friends, like really good friends. And it was a good 2 years. And I had started kind of dating this other guy, and that just went nowhere. But all of our mutual friends kept asking, like, over and over again, when are you guys dating? Are you guys dating? And I'm like,
there was a buzz.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, you know, like,
you know?
Well, it's just like, he's my brother. He was my brother's friend.
Yeah.
Like, these are the two kids
like
that, like,
a brother,
they would run around, like, seriously, gathering snakes and lizards and shooting each other with airsoft pistols.
It sounds very like Little House on the Prairie, like, ew, Laura Ingalls, like, no, ew, that's my...
I mean, you have to know, like, when did I meet you? You were like, what, 14? Yeah, he was 14 when I met him. So, like, you know, this little punk kid image in my mind.
I'm sure you weren't even aware of me.
Nah, probably not. Sorry. And
hey, that's kudos to me. I won you over.
Yeah.
Because she was the girl that all the guys wanted.
girl all
Yeah.
the guys want. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody, because I was kind of part of a group of girls. There was like 5 of us, and we were all born in the same year, so we're all the same age. And it was just kind of assumed I was going to be the first one to get married.
Y'all weren't a bunch of mean girls, were you?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't. Some of them were.
She doesn't know how to be a mean girl.
No.
Just hold on to your horses with those precious girls, because high school girls are no fun. So much drama.
Well, there's so many things about my oldest girl that reminds me of me, but she doesn't have the like pleasant attitude to go with it, or personality. I guess the pleasant personality to go with
You
it.
just think you had a pleasant personality. Are you sure you're not looking back at that with rose-colored glasses?
No, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
There's a difference between being the oldest and not being the oldest.
that's true. She's not the oldest. I was the oldest. Oldest definitely seemed to be more laid back, a little more calm.
You sure about that?
I don't know. Me and my wife are the oldest. So we're pretty laid back. We like that. We like to turn it off and chill. Like, just, hey,
Yeah.
let's put it behind us. Have people over. Relax. Everything's taken
I mean,
care
like,
of.
you're not drama queens. You're not trying to stir the pot. You're not. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, but our oldest stirs the pot. He's looking for energy. He wants to create
He's just bored.
drama.
He's
Drama's not even the
no.
word. He wants to create energy.
Yeah, he's just bored.
He's growing into it.
Yeah, he will.
Send him over to your house.
I mean, we can always use an extra hand to pick up sticks.
Poor kid. He is so lanky. Like he can't like. He's muscled up a hair in the last 6 months, but like he is so lanky.
Was Amos lanky?
I don't think you were. He's more like the second boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm super stoggy, but yeah. My brother goes lanky because he was 6'5". I mean, he bulked out at a certain point, but
My brother, I don't know. My brother is 6'5" as well, and 6'4".
Oh.
And yeah,
Lay down.
yeah, and
Why do men do that? Like,
no.
seriously, When all 3 of my brothers, or 4 of my brothers, 3 younger brothers, and then we have a stepbrother. When we all get together, we all size each other up. There's 3 of us that are clearly the tallest. I always just say, hey, listen, I'm the tallest, y'all. I don't even care if you really truly are the tallest. You'll never be the tallest. Yeah, why do men do that?
well, yeah, but like they stand inches over me, so it's like I'm not in the game. I'm just saying, really, like if you want to get into a marital dispute, not even dispute, but like
do we have a marital dispute?
not really, but like I remember facts, figures, numbers, stuff like that.
Yes, hands down, he does. I'm not even going to argue that.
And so that's why I know my brother's 6'5", I know her brother's 6'4", because those are the numbers I was
but
told.
you're not unique to that. Yeah.
I'm going to speak in generalities because it
However,
makes the story go faster.
like when I hear her on the phone and she's like talking about something or any conversation, she starts spitting out like facts and figures or information, and I'm like, that's not accurate at all. Like it may hold a spirit of accuracy,
Interesting.
but it's not the truth.
I could see that a little bit in my own marriage. Yeah.
But see, anytime I have a conversation when he's not there, I'm like, oh, that's going to involve numbers. You should ask
Yes,
Amos.
but when I am there, you don't refer to me.
No, because I know you're going to.
I don't though. I don't.
You
correct-
do. You butt
Not in
all the time.
public.
Yes, you do.
Not generally.
Okay, so
What just happened? What just happened?
I'm so glad you brought it up, Amos.
This is a unique situation.
Marital disputes.
Yes, sir.
I mean, do you guys fight? What?
No.
No,
Never.
No.
I
Bicker.
don't think so.
We just get maybe.
This is about as
we get like
banterful as we get.
we may on a rare occasion get upset with one another and then not speak to each other for about 6 hours, and then we'll be like, "Hey, this is what I'm upset about,"
Okay.
and then we'll talk about it, and then we'll be fine.
Okay.
Generally, I don't think it's lasted longer.
Usually his fault.
Usually.
Silent treatment.
Yeah.
I'm very, very, very easygoing. He's very anti-conflict. One would almost say I'm an enabler.
Yes.
Yes. And
She does not demand that you change.
I have a very good sense of humor.
That helps too. Yeah.
But I also I come from, my mindset is definitely like, it's just not worth it. And I don't remember the small things. Like, it's just so not worth it to remember all the little angst and little things that you've done that, have piled up in our 15 years of marriage. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't remember things as it is, so.
Because it wasn't worth it. Like, I don't like to remember the bad stuff.
Not a grudge holder.
Yeah, not a grudge holder. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good philosophy.
Yeah.
I try and instill that in my kids. Like, look, is this worth it? Like, what? By you complaining to me about this thing your sibling did, like, what do you want me to do? Like, is this worth the time you're expending? Or would you rather go do something else and just, like, let it go?
Let it go. Why don't I keep on singing in this episode? I don't know.
I don't know. You want a copyright strike? That's what you want.
Little trigger words throughout the whole time. So you did not initially grow up in Ohio, though, correct?
No. So my mom's originally from Ohio, and then after college, I don't know whenever that would have been, 70s. Yeah, 70s sometime. She went to Europe. And so she did all the youth hostels and kind of traveled around. It was really cheap. And at some point, she met who then later became my dad. So a bunch of South Africans and Australians. And she's like, as an American traveling abroad, Jimmy Carter, I think, was the president then.
Okay.
She's like, there's a lot going on, and it was not popular to be an American. So she hung out with the Australians. They were just way more fun anyway. And Australians and South Africans they're related somehow, and they're kind of very similar minded. So my dad was from South Africa doing the same thing after kind of his gap year. And so the plan was for my dad to come to the States and study. And for some reason that fell through. So my mom went to South Africa. And the plan was to get married, be there for a couple of years, get like the work experience, and then come to the States. Well, that didn't happen for about 13 years. So my mom ended up being up down there, had my brother and I, had a house, had a dog. And then we came back in 92. So it was right. So my parents were going to get a divorce.
How old were you then?
8.
So you
just before I turned 8.
Lived in South Africa till you were 8.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my mom was looking at getting divorced with no family, and they were about to declare apartheid, and nobody knew it was going to happen. And so we moved back to Ohio, where my mom's from, and
so I mean, up until 8 years old, there's still some memories. I mean, that are probably.
I mean, I can remember my grandparents. I haven't. I do regret. That is probably one regret I have, that I didn't go back while my grandparents were alive.
Yeah.
They had a farm up in the Drakensberg Mountains. They were dairy farmers. So my dad was one of 6 kids. 2 have since immigrated to Australia. One lives in one lived in Zimbabwe. He's passed away. So 2 have passed away, and then an aunt lives somewhere near the Cape, I think. And I have a few cousins. I've lost contact with them. They're down there somewhere.
When are we planning a trip back?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Come on, Amos. Let's get this podcast going so y'all can go.
Make it international.
I would love to do an episode in South Africa.
You want to do one in Italy?
Anywhere, let's go.
We could maybe do one in Italy. Coming up soon.
Coming soon.
That's one place I'd love to go anywhere. I am totally up for any adventure.
I can think of some places you don't want to go.
Probably.
So, I mean, is that essentially the extent of your traveling abroad, was just there and back again?
Pretty much. Other than like a short hop across Canada a couple times. That's the extent.
We don't even call that. That's the 51st state. What are you talking about?
Other than that, I've traveled a lot around inside the United States. But yeah, no, nothing outside. So one of these days, I mean, like, we gotta stop having kids and having little babies all over the place. But at that point, I'd like to go traveling.
Sounds like we don't like children.
No, you love them.
I love them. I am not. Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have to like children? I love my children, but I do not like them all the time. I'm okay with saying that.
I'm glad you qualified with all the time there.
I think that's okay.
They have their moments where it's just like, oh, there's a person blossoming in there. This is amazing. And then they turn around and you're like, oh, go away from me right now.
I mean, even just having the time to come do this, yeah, it's a little breath of fresh air, I bet.
It is. Yeah, I don't like. I'm terrible at taking care of myself and taking time for myself, and like I tend to give up everything to what everybody needs at the time, and so then I get a little grumpy.
One could say maybe there's some trauma in there.
I don't know. I'm a little leery of the word trauma. I feel like that's thrown around a lot.
I think if you define it properly,
I guess
because it gets used as an excuse.
Yes.
For bad behavior. Like my trauma makes me do this and makes me do that, and then it's just an excuse to be a bad person.
Like I know I'm the way I am because of how I was raised and events that occurred while growing up and becoming who I am. But I don't know that I could call that trauma.
No.
I mean, it was just like both my parents have strong personalities. A lot of the people I grew up around had strong personalities, and it's just kind of
so then what does that
informed
make you?
decisions. I don't know. I like serving people. Definitely a calling I have or feel naturally to follow is serving people. But the other side of that is enabling people. I've always believed that every characteristic is like a coin. There's a strong side and there's the downside to each characteristic. So if you're a take charge kind of a person, the bad side of that could be steamrolling people and not caring about their wants or needs or desires. And so being aware of your characteristic or natural ability and the strength that comes with that, but also the weaknesses that come with that. It's knowing both and keeping both of in your mind. And I mean, I apply that mostly to my children. Once in a while, I think about it as into myself. But with my children, I think about it a lot.
Yeah.
Like, okay, they've got this strength of character, but it's going to come with this weakness. Let's try and balance that out, make them aware of both, and not let them sink into an extreme of one or the other. Because that's when you really get personality disorders, or when you get somebody who's just unagreeable or not easy to work with. And so if you think of anybody who's got a really hard personality or who's done you a certain way in your life, they probably have that certain coin, that certain characteristic, but they've gone to the extreme without balancing the other side.
So, with a family with 5 kids, when you guys go out in public, is there a designated, like, these are the kids I'm responsible for and these kids I'm responsible for? Minus the baby, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so we have a 1-year-old. That's pretty much mine.
They're good. Well, no, like the 2 oldest are good at like following. They're good at like tagging along and not getting lost. The other 2 you got to keep an eye on.
Well, if we do, and it's been a while, go to the grocery store at the same time and split. I would say the 2 oldest probably go with you the most of the time. Once in a while, it'll be like split the girls and the boys. But yeah, I'd say the oldest go with him most of the time.
yeah.
The 3 youngest ones are a little bit joined at the hip. And the 2 have definitely reached that point where it's like, ooh, if we're with Dad, we can go more places around the store. We could probably go to the toy aisle. Mom's just going to say no.
Dad might be a little more adventurous.
Yes, Dad's a little more adventurous. Yes.
In different ways. Dad's a little more safety conscious too.
So, but more times than not, it's just me with all the kids.
If you're ever running around town, and are you bringing half of the crew with you? Say you got some running around to do. Are you leaving them at the house?
Who?
I'm just saying either one of you. Because I gotta go. I gotta run.
I mean,
to the
I'll
store.
take him with me.
Yeah.
I'm taking a little more now.
Yeah, Amos, are you taking all 5? When was the last
Generally
time you
not
took
all 5.
No,
I'd
like
never.
one at a time. He takes one at a time.
I might take 2. It depends. It varies. You know.
He doesn't take all of them.
Never all.
Well, no. Why would I take the baby?
Why not? He wants to see the grocery store too.
Yeah, you've never taken on all of them for anything. Like I said, the baby's pretty much, it's mine. Like this is
But
the
that's where
longest.
babies belong.
This is the longest I've been away from him.
Yeah, don't wait too long.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I think I might have had a dentist appointment in the last year, but that's about it.
Yeah.
It was probably during
I think
nap
it's
time.
good for babies to be with their mothers.
Yeah.
There's an attachment thing there. I mean, you're always weirded out when it's like you take your 3-week-old to the daycare and just it's like, what's going on there?
That is very foreign to me. Yeah.
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 I think with all of our kids, like you haven't really like gotten away with it from them until they're like 18 months old, 2 years old.
We were somewhere, and it was probably a grandpa comment where he just says, "Oh, mama's boy," and I'm like, it's a good thing because this is the only time in their life where they can just be these emotional wrecks that just need their mom for every little thing because they're going to get to be this. And they can't do that. They can't run to their moms.
Unless they still are a mama's boy.
So they're So a mama's boy at 20, 30, okay, that's something else. But to be called a mama's boy at 10 and under, it's like that shouldn't be a derogatory. And most of us do take it as that. So like I like it that I can appreciate. I don't always like it. I can appreciate it when my boys come to me and they're just like, they're broken about something or down about something because this is a moment in their life where they're probably going to be only comfortable doing this unless they really find a truly good mate that lets them do that in their later years.
Yeah.
But they're going to hit this stage in their teenage years where they're not going to be able to do that with anybody. And so it's like, okay, let's work these emotions. Let's strengthen that muscle because I think emotions are a muscle.
What does dating look like for the Elsis kids in the future?
I don't know because I never went on a date.
Oh, interesting.
I was always the hang out in a huge group. We all knew each other. We all did everything together. I mean, like when we go to the movies, it was like 10 of us.
Yeah.
And I always had my brother. Like he and I we had the same friends. We just did everything together. Did we even go on a date before we got married? I think you took me to Subway one time, but
we might
Amos
have
loved Subway.
we went and got food, I'm sure, but like the date, no, we never went on what you'd call.
We went on a road trip to deliver a coffin one time.
But we weren't a thing then.
No, we weren't.
It was a casket, not a coffin.
I'm sorry. It was a casket.
Wait, what's the difference? Hold on.
Coffin
Coffins
goes around
are
the casket.
angular shaped. They have the angles like you see in the Western movies.
Right.
Caskets are straight.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a sarcophagus goes around it. Is that right? That's
Yes,
that the concrete thing that goes.
Yes.
Like an Egyptian sarcophagus.
Well, that's what they'd also call like the concrete.
Yeah.
You put the
In
that's also a
Texas,
sarcophagus.
you have to encase all coffin or caskets in a sarcophagus because the ground stinks. It's all sand.
Oh.
It's not very environmentally friendly though.
No. But if you don't want to get eaten every time you walk through a cemetery, they're all encased in concrete for safety.
Well, no, you just go back and put some more dirt on top. Come on, the maintenance day.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
How come we're not running out of space in cemeteries?
That's a conspiracy theory we should look into.
Yeah.
Maybe more people are getting cremated.
I think a lot of people are getting cremated. Yeah.
Also, when you think about it, like the mass of the biomass of humanity does not take up that much space.
Mm-mm.
Still, though,
It like fits inside the city of LA.
I've never seen a cemetery expanding.
Like closed.
But
closed.
did you grow up with people where like their parents had their plot already bought next to grandma and grandpa?
My great grandparents, yes. Potentially, probably my grandparents that are still alive.
Yeah,
we do.
I think that was more of a thing back then.
Yeah.
I'm not sure our generation or maybe our parents are that way, but I can remember a lot of people like, "Oh yeah, this is where I'm going to be buried. This is where over here. Come visit me." I can remember people saying that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think people still do that.
I knew a guy who kept his in the basement for when the day came. It was a coffee table in the basement, this casket.
Okay.
So I have an odd question. So I was sitting there all day today thinking like, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? And everything I could think of was like, okay, I don't want my mom to hear about that. Or that might be too personal about our relationship.
Now your mom's going to be wondering.
Yeah, I know.
If she made it this far.
But so I have this question. I tend to wear my hair up in a bun. Like just because it's long.
So does my wife.
It gets in the way and it's hot. And it usually just hangs on my face. But he likes it when I wear it down. Like so. And I'm like, okay, well, on Sundays or if we're going somewhere nice, I'll put through the extra work and, suffer the extra heat and warmth. But what I've noticed is our boys, when I wear my hair down, they never notice about anything about what I wear. Any other time. Except when my hair is down. They're like, oh, Mommy, your hair is nice. And I'm just wondering, is this a universal? Because I've seen some TikToks or shorts or whatever you call them nowadays, where girls have experimented to see like how many tips they get. And like there's the messy bun, there's the low ponytail, there's the high ponytail, and different things like that. And the high ponytail, from what I understand, gets you quite a lot of tips. Just saying.
Like a cheerleader high ponytail?
Yeah. But for my boys who never notice anything about what I'm personally looking like, to notice my hair being down, I'm just wondering, is this like a universal man thing?
Okay, so I'll go first. For some reason, when because my mom would always get her hair cut or get it colored or whatever. I don't know why. That's specifically. And she just always, her hair always had to be looking a certain way. And even to this day, I mean, even my grandma is very, very like, oh gosh, when she was going through cancer, it was rough because she just didn't feel good about herself. And so as a young boy, when she came back from the hairdresser or whatever the case may be, I felt this undertone of like a responsibility to like just compliment her. Yeah. I don't know if I ever like really necessarily noticed or would have noticed, but maybe that was more coming from my father, was kind of setting the tone of like, go say your mom's hair looks good. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I know there's no prompting on our side. Like they'll just start like.
Amos isn't over there. Like
no, they'll start. They'll come over and kind of stroke it. Like, oh, I like it when your hair's down, Mom. That's pretty.
What do you think, Amos?
I think when your hair's up in a tight bun, like it's almost like you're bald. I mean, there's obviously hair there, but it's like the whole, like the volume and the allure and the lushness is not there. It's just all tight up, and you're uptight, like you got a clenched butthole. So, like, and I get the reason why, because it's not in the way. Like, I'm sure that if I had luxurious locks,
new challenge,
that they'd be up in a man bun.
I should show you some pictures of when I first met him.
Unattractive as man bun are, man bun is, man bun can be, man buns.
Bad picture.
Come on, we both know you like man bun.
So
it's nicer when hair's down. It is like, I mean, it's like Ben looks nice when he wears his beard down.
I mean, I have to agree with him. It's 100% accurate, but I don't know why.
Well, okay, so in the scripture it talks about how it is a glory for women to have long hair and not for men. Now, I'm sure there are women out there who find men with long hair attractive. I'm not one of them. But
clearly. She's never encouraged me to grow my hair out, nor a beard.
That's about as long as
that's as long as she's comfortable.
My wife won't let me cut my beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me that you don't have one. I like clean shaven. But so I mean the scripture talks about how it's a glory for a woman to have long hair. And like I grew up with some scarf heads. You know, they'd always keep their hair covered and stuff like that. But the scripture talks about how your husband or your dad is your covering. And Christ is the covering for the whole church. The only women, theoretically, in the scripture who aren't covered are divorcees or widows.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if they go back to their dad or not. But they can choose who they marry. They can choose who they will. So they technically don't have a covering. So there's kind of an argument for them to wear a head covering. But I always used to think, like, if you're wearing a scarf, like, you're just kind of, I don't know.
Well, hair definitely is a big deal in the Near Eastern culture, whether it's covered or out and about.
Out and about, yeah.
I
mean, I've known some dads where they wouldn't let their girls get their hair cut and stuff like that. I'm like, well, then you didn't have to take care of it, did you? Sorry.
No. It's very interesting. We're talking about hair because a recent reel short TikTok. I don't know why I have TikTok, so I don't know why I even said TikTok. But it was this lady. I think she was Norwegian, Swedish, something, and she was sitting there and she was explaining her heritage and how she came from Vikings, and she was related to this person, blah, blah, blah. That's the whole, like, freaking 2 minutes it leading up to. And then eventually she's like, there's no record of the Vikings having, putting braids in their hair, the women.
Oh, like the multiple braids and twistings,
like
stuff like you see on the TV shows. Okay.
Yeah, in your popular TV shows that would show Viking women wearing the braids, and it was it kind of took me off guard. I was like, oh, you're going the complete opposite direction of, like, trying to say, you know, because the whole argument has been for one way or the other. You know, white people wearing braids has always been kind of this. Well, is it cultural appropriation, and then they're like, oh no, the Vikings did it. You can do it, blah blah blah. And she was going even a step further to say, oh no, there's no record of Viking women putting.
How would you have a record of that?
I don't know. She clearly she had an agenda, but I was just thought it was very, very fascinating.
What's wrong with conveniently keeping your hair?
I'm not saying I agree with it by any means. I just thought it was very interesting.
Oh yeah.
Cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're even. I don't know if that's a hot take. If there is even such a thing.
Because I've seen videos where, like, they're trying to get the other side of the story, where, like, they go to Japan, they go to these different cultures, and they're like, "What do you think when I dress like this?" And they're like, "This is great. You're spreading what our traditions are."
Like, oh, it's very authentic and yeah.
Well, when we lived in Minnesota, we went to Minot one year, and it was the Husfest, and it's a Norwegian festival all weekend. Highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
So they have, like, Norwegian bands. There's Norwegian just stuff. There's some people selling stuff from Norway. But we were talking to this group, and I want to say, I'm not sure if they were a travel agency or they were something. They were a group of people from Norway, and they were amazed. They were talking to people who had preserved dialect from their families for generations. So families who had come from Norway and settled in Minnesota or North Dakota, and for generations had preserved the dialect of the language that they brought with them from Norway. And these people running this booth were like, we're hearing dialects that have died out in Norway, but they're preserved here. He's like, you eat food here. Kind of like we have the Friday night catfish fries down here.
Yeah.
Like up there they have lutefisk and a few other things. And he's like, nobody eats this stuff in Norway anymore. He's like, in America, he's like, we're finding little enclaves, little, people, like families and neighborhoods that have preserved ways of life that have completely died out in Norway. And they were just fascinated. Yeah. But I think we've probably seen the last generation to do that. Like the advent of the TV and internet, like, we're losing even our accents in America.
Right.
And I'm sure Britain and Europe is probably discovering it even more so. But there's accents in England that you can find, oh, that's you must have settled Boston because that's what Boston sounds like. That's what New Hampshire sounds like. You can find connections to all of those accents that you find in England. But I'm sure a lot of those are dying. Like, how often do you hear that deep Brooklyn, New Yorker accent? Like, it's dying out. And a lot of it is TV and
Maybe
shorts
just spent too long
and all
in
that.
Texas.
And all of our newscasters have that nice, crisp North Midwestern accent. And that's what everybody's trying to mimic, unless it's,
That's one of our
LA.
favorite YouTube. I can't remember exactly what YouTube channel it is, but he's a professional dialect recognizer. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And he'll like do deep dives on people's accents and can pinpoint it to like the county. It's very, very
That's sweet.
interesting.
Yeah.
And he does, it's really well produced, and he'll do samples from different areas and show you like how this is close to this one and where, and the history behind it. But yeah,
I
very
should get
interesting.
that channel because my kids once in a while will try and imitate a British accent.
Yeah?
It is so irritating.
Our oldest daughter, there are words like she's like no,
Well, even then, I mean, British,
but like that's just
What
she's not even emulating. She's just that's how she talks. There's a few words here and there that are very British sounding. Like, where did you pick that
have
up?
they ever seen My Fair Lady?
No, I don't think they have.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
They haven't seen like that
my girls
genre
love
of
that.
of
Yeah, what about
Disney.
My Fair Lady, Mary Poppins, Anna Green Gables,
Yeah,
Anna
No, I
the
haven't seen that
Heavenly?
one
We
yet.
haven't been showing them all those things. See,
No.
I had to sit there and watch those things with my sister when I was growing up.
I bet you did.
Yeah,
Huh.
Anna
Well,
Green Gables.
that's trauma.
Well, there was in breaking news last week on I guess Black Twitter is what
What?
we'll call it. Yep.
Black Twitter.
Yep. They found out, American black people found out that there's black people in Scotland, and they were all reaching out to all these people in Scotland that were black. And then, of course, the Scottish black people were responding, "Oh, I guess all these Americans found us. They didn't realize that we actually existed." Very, very interesting.
What?
Yep. You heard me.
What was the outcome of this?
It was just, I guess, just
Is this just
Very-
Americans assuming that Scotland's just all white people?
right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And essentially, it's not.
That's
And-
so very
and
not
so-
true. Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, all these native Scottish people that were black, their accounts started blowing up and were trending. And yeah, they're like, what is going on?
So yeah, just small-minded Americans.
Yeah.
Okay.
So wild. So wild. You just never know.
Interesting.
It's kind of like wait till they discover there's whites in Africa.
Yeah, for real. For real.
Sorry.
But what I can't say, there's Chinese in China.
Sure.
Yep.
Supposedly some Romans as well.
Some Romans.
Yeah.
As in ancient Roman Romans?
Yeah, I guess settled that area. Disappeared. Some legion disappeared.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
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 Settled over in China. Just like there's Germans in Argentina and Mormons in Mexico.
Well, we know why the Mormons are in Mexico.
Mm.
Yeah.
Too much roughhousing in Utah.
Yeah. They were running for the hills. Literally. Huh. Yeah. Very, very interesting. I thought I'd throw that little nugget out there.
We like that. We like the nuggets.
That's again like, getting out of your normal. Americans are very good about staying in a very closed-minded, like, what they know is what they think everybody knows or experiences.
So what about God? We haven't talked about God at all.
We talked about God a little bit.
Did we?
Christian values.
How long have you been a Christian?
Forever.
Forever.
My dad says he claims he remembers when I asked to be saved or baptized. I'm not sure which. But knowing him, it was probably listening to some doom and gloom last day prophet on the shortwave. I don't remember. I guess it was an unpleasant memory, so I don't remember it. I don't know what to say. And I don't know. I just always have been. I remember getting baptized. I think I was 12. But yeah.
When did you, or maybe you still haven't, when did you like come to the realization of like, okay, this is not my parents' religion. This is something that I really truly believe in? Or was there ever a moment?
I don't think there was a moment like that. My parents were really good about getting us to read the Bible for ourselves and kind of letting us hear the case, I guess. We didn't go to churches, so we home churched. We would go to family camp, but it was also followed along with the biblical feasts. So we'd do the Feast of Tabernacles or the Feast of Passover, unleavened bread. And so you hear it from different people, and then we go home and we kind of discuss, well, look, what do you think about that person? And let's see if it's actually in the Bible. And so they're very, very much shied against doctrine.
Yeah.
Just saying it to like beat you over the head with it or anything like that. So it's pretty much if the Bible said it, we were good with it. And that's still how I think. Like, if the Bible says it, God meant it, I'm good with it. I'm a pretty black and white person that way, I guess. And so like we follow the food laws. Bible said to do it. God called it a good thing. Good enough for me. But I was also raised that way. So I don't have that, oh, but I like my bacon, because I don't know what bacon tastes like. So it's just not part of my memory or any of that kind of stuff. It's not part of any good feeling, nostalgia. So yeah, but
I mean, there's definitely scientific evidence to that as well, I think. We'll probably say that one for a whole other episode.
Oh no,
that bacon tastes good?
No, with regards to the food laws and.
Oh no, there's a whole. I know there's a couple books out there about what happens to your body if you follow the biblical food laws, and I think there's a whole diet wrapped around it. But there's definitely scientific evidence to support eating pork is not good for you. It's not good for your nervous system. It introduces a lot of parasites that are very hard to kill. And I've been around pigs. Like if they're commercially farmed, you would never eat them again. This is terrible. Like their pee eats metal. Like they have to replace the metal off of their sheds every couple of years because it is literally eaten by the ammonia fumes from the animal. They can't sweat. So what do you think happens to all the toxins? Anyway, but that's what I believe. And for me, that's good enough. But in the New Testament, it talks about, you do what you believe. If you do something you don't believe in, that's almost worse. But I'm not going to put it in front of you as a stumbling block. Right. If you don't believe it, I'm not going to hold you to it. Why would I? And I think we are allowed that freedom in the New Testament. I can sit there and I will gladly argue and just kind of give you how I see it. But that's kind of how we treat the kids too, where it's just like, look, this is what the Bible says. This person kind of says this. This is how this other person interprets it. This is how I interpret it. Yeah. This is how our house is going to observe that. When you're on your own, you can make your own choices. And my parents were pretty good about viewing and describing the Bible the same way. And it's just, he's not a dictator. He's a very loving father.
Right.
And sometimes as a father, as a mom, you kind of get the shitty end of a stick. Like, they don't care. And I think as God's creation, sometimes we're the same way. Like, we don't care. We're not giving back. And I think God understands that. He's still there. He still loves us. But the Bible is one place where he can say, hey, this is what I would want. This is what I love. This is what I created for you. And after all that, like I'm here. I'm always here. And I guess I take, solace in that. And I love gardening, but I also understand him as a father where he's always there. And if you walk in the cool of a garden, if you walk in the cool of the woods, like that's the best time to talk to him because he's there. He's always so close. And just having, and I'm sure Garth talked about it many times, just having that open conversation. It's not even a prayer. It's just an open conversation with your dad.
Yeah.
And it's a dad who understands and knows your heart, but you still have to go to him. And I guess I see the Bible as the same thing where, barring the whole, well, there's the this translation or that translation, there's the Greek deeper meaning, just black and white, what the Bible says.
Right.
And I'm cool with that. Because I don't think he's going to say, well, this is only good for these people for so long, and then I'm going to change my mind. It's like, no, he said it. If he said it, it's good for everybody. Like, it's just good for everybody. What he did with the Israelites in the wilderness and with them in the promised land and all throughout, all the way to Jesus Christ, like that was his model for the whole world. Those people were and are still supposed to be a light to the world. They were just the story and the family to get to Jesus. And by adoption, we are part of that family. We're in that family. So if we're in that family, the book is about us. All of those stories in the Old Testament are about us. All the conflicts, all the love, all the laws, except for offering sacrifice, because Christ did that. Like, that's been sealed, that's done.
Right.
We're good. And praise God, we don't have to go sacrifice up on an altar and kill animals. That's great. But that's our family. That book is about our family, my children's family, your family. And I really hope one day the whole world's family.
Yeah.
And so why wouldn't you want to do what God said for them to do? It's meant to be a blessing. He didn't say it to be a hardship or a curse. It was all meant to be a blessing. And so I'm cool with that.
Yeah, right.
And so I don't know, that's just how, I can't say specifically where that came from, but not being pressured into thinking any kind of religious specific way, very non-denominational way. My parents are still pretty anti-church, I think.
Oh yeah, Don for sure is.
Yeah, going with my parents to Mosaic, it's like you can feel a little bit of stiffening next to us, but
always a treat to have Don in the studio.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting, but we had some interesting people we listened to growing up, and some amazing people who truly loved God and loved His Word, but also had a connection with the Holy Spirit, and were able to walk with both. And that's something I really appreciate about Mosaic. I mean, it's sometimes it's easy to go to one side or the other, but walking with both in hand.
Yeah, especially what we're kind of going through right now with regards to still being flesh, but being of the Spirit. And yeah.
Yeah, it's if you always stay in connection with that still, quiet voice. And in this world, it's even harder to listen to it, to have those quiet moments where you just can't just click on the phone or click on the TV or put on a cup of coffee or call up a friend. I know it. And it's really, and then with little kids. And it's honestly more fun to talk to Amos than to the Holy Spirit sometimes. And it is. But taking those quiet moments of just like, hey, am I where I need to be? Is there something I could be striving for? And just having a conversation with that, basically that closest friend that's there to come for you. Mm-hmm. And now I feel like I sound like Garth, but
it's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. But and that's something I really, really hope to instill in my children. And they're so young. Like, this isn't a conversation I can have with an 11-year-old. He would have been rolling his eyes 10, 15, 20 minutes ago. So
yeah, but it'll definitely be something that here in a handful of years, they can click back and watch it on YouTube.
But a lot of that's because I have to live it. I have to live what I want my kids to see. And that's the odd thing about being a Christian is so much of it is your relationship with God, your relationship with that quiet spirit that nobody sees.
Right.
That nobody sees. And so it's an interesting thing with my kids. And how do you teach them that? How do you teach them to be someone like yourself that they don't have all the things that shaped you into who you are? You know, I used to think about that at 16. Like, okay, I'm living in the inner city. I watch Mad TV and SNL. My kids probably won't. How are they going to be like me? And I don't know. Time will tell.
Yeah.
But beating them with a stick and making sure that they conform to a little box is not the way to do it. So we'll see. And that's the scary but exciting part about being a parent.
Would you say that Amos was beaten into a stick over here and they were...
There is definitely an expectation of
Was it different?
conformity.
Was there a clashing of values?
With?
Well, I mean, just...
Oh, between the two of us?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No, we were like pretty hyper aligned as far as and that's part of the reason why we never really fight either, because we don't have different goals or desires from one another. Like we're very aligned in what career goals and life goals and child rearing goals and values, like they've never really been out of alignment.
No, that's good.
I'm not into gardening. So, you know.
I still remember the plant you killed of mine.
Really?
You spilled diesel on my peonies up in Minnesota. I will always remember that.
Maybe they shouldn't have been next to the diesel tank.
So you love gardening.
Yes.
How do you find gardening in the Texas heat?
That's a
So
hard
we hadn't
one.
gardened for a while.
I haven't.
We haven't had a vegetable garden in.
After having the third kid, I've pretty much quit doing a lot of gardening. So I used to do a big market garden, farmer's market kind of stuff. Then it moved to like a canning home garden. And I used to do landscaping before we got married. And so I do love plants. Yeah, for sure. But Texas is a hard one.
Yeah.
I mean, we bought a place just over a year ago, and I'm looking forward to doing that. But man, a baby really kind of curtails a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking forward to it. Maybe here in the next year, I'll start.
Just strap that baby on and in the Texas heat and walk around that garden.
Well, and there's that too, like that. I have to spend money on it, and he's like, "But they're just plants." I'm like, "But it'll improve our house
They
value."
don't feed you. I like plants that feed you.
So there's a little bit of that enabler in me where it's just like, well, he doesn't want me to spend money on plants, so I won't. But I want to, so I eventually will. But so it's the season. I'll plan, I'll plod.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
one of these days.
That's probably the biggest hesitancy with us is just the heat.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's so exhausting. It just drains you.
Well, and that's the thing is like we're almost like Texas. You gotta switch your thinking. Mm-hmm. So like now I'm gonna get into like animated talking mode, where fall is the time to plant. If you're talking like shrubs, bushes, trees, that kind of thing, like we're getting into that planting season now.
Next week it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, this is so it went, and especially if you're thinking like northern, like Colorado kind of mindset or something like that, like you got to switch it. Like wintertime, fall time, that's when you plant. Okay. That's when you're outside. That's when you're doing things. Don't trim your bushes that are going to bloom in the spring because you're tripping off the buds. But yeah, no, I love it. I'll get back into it one of these days. But yeah, just do it. Do it in the fall. And then you just, in the summer, all you're doing is just maintaining the grass. Just maintain.
I feel an idea bubbling up. Christians talking about gardening.
All right.
But I love plants.
Anyhow, well, Thanks for coming in.
You're welcome. Wasn't too scary.
Do you enjoy your time away?
Yeah, it was really nice. I got to talk and nobody interrupted me. That's really irritating.
I think that's just the way it works.
No, this is good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. This is fun.
All right. See ya.
Bye.